This is Moonstalker at that place for walkthroughs with Luthien of Dragon Age Origins.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well. Looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
You get out of here. This is private business.
Looks more like extortion to me.
Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. Or I can't say what might happen.
Intimidate. Take a good look. Do you really want to start this?
Whoa, whoa. All right, you win. I'm not gonna die for 10 lousy sovereigns.
Actually, that's quite a bit of money.
Ancestors, bless you for saving my poor store. I don't know how to express my gratitude.
You could start by letting me look around your store.
I'm showing you the lowest prices I can afford.
Good. Later.
I am impressed. My thanks.
Gloves? You're giving me gloves? What for?
If you don't want it, give it back.
I did not mean to sound ungrateful. It is just... Wait, these are Dalish, are they not? My mother was Dalish, and had a pair very similar to these. The leather was less thick, and it had more embroidery, but these are very close, and quite handsome.
Your mother was Dalish? Oh, anyway, you're welcome.
Do I seem surprised? Perhaps I am. Still, I appreciate the fact that you even thought of me. No one has simply given me a gift before. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is it?
Put your good clothes back on, George. You can bring out those other gloves to the pet when you're in bed at night by yourself.
So, what is going to keep you from poisoning your target now that you have been allowed to accompany us, I wonder?
You are. You will be watching me ever so closely to make sure I attempt no such thing.
And why would I do such a thing? Sneaking into our good graces in order to make another attempt is what I would do were I you.
And here I was becoming rather fond of the idea of you watching me closely.
It would be a simple enough matter to poison the food in camp, or cut our throats while we sleep.
You seem rather charmed by the idea.
It would seem an appropriate result of sparing your life.
Ah, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you then. The next time I am spared, I will be sure to immediately turn upon my benefactors. Will that do?
Vashaden.
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me?
What are you talking about?
Well, that sounded genuine. If you weren't looking for me, do me a favor and pretend I never said anything.
Not so fast. Are you Bizo Hermont?
I am. So if you're not here to... How do you know who I am?
Intimidate. Hermont's hurt that his own cousin would walk out on him.
Oh, don't put it that way. Look, it's just, when I was younger, I had a thing with this Idukan girl, Revelka. Lesser cousin, nowhere near the throne. Her family wanted her marrying up, so they matched her with a BMO. But we didn't exactly stop seeing each other.
Now Balin's found out.
I thought we were discreet, but she's married to a Desher's heir. He'd kill me if he knew. So I have to slink out of here like some worthless brand for fear Balin will tell the whole city.
What evidence does Balin have?
They have letters. Love letters Revelka wrote me. If they were made public, she'd be disgraced. Her husband would cast her aside, and I would be lucky to be allowed to die in a duel.
I can get those letters back.
You'd do that? I don't know how to thank you. I know it's my own fault, but I'd have married her if I could. Balin's fighter Miaja has the letters. If you make sure she never shows them to anyone, I'll fight for Haremont again. But you need to find them quickly. Registrations close once the first bout starts.
No problem.
Oh, right. Huh.
The proving's almost starting. I should leave if you haven't found anything.
How much are those letters worth to you?
You have them? If you can keep those letters from the public eye, I would gladly gift you with a finder's fee. Say, 10 sovereigns?
Persuade? Is that all Revelka's life is worth? I'll take 15.
I certainly can't argue with that logic. Here you are. Now pardon me, there's little time left to rejoin the proving. Thank you again, friend.
Oh, you're welcome.
You new in the fights? I don't remember seeing you before.
I'm fighting to champion Lord Haremont.
Far be it from me to tell you your business, but you might want to take a closer look before you jump into local politics. Were I you, I'd follow my example. Resign and let Haremont fight his own battles. I'm Guidon, by the way. It's been a pleasure.
Dylan Forrender asked me to talk to you.
I bet he did. That man thinks nothing is beneath him. Well, you could just tell him I had my reasons. It's not so much what happened, as what's going to. I heard from a reliable source Lord Harriman's already given up the throne. Balin called this whole proving to let his lordship save face when he concedes.
That's ridiculous. Harrimont isn't conceding.
Oh? And where did you hear this that's more reliable than a member of the Assembly?
Intimidate. Dueling. And I'm rallying honorable fighters for Harrimont.
I suppose there's nothing his lordship would do without consulting Dueling. He's always been his top man. Maybe you're right. I'm just a warrior. I've always tried to stay out of these noble politics. If I find out this whole thing was some flunky of Balin's lying to me for his own gain, I'll...
Slink out like a kicked dog?
No, you're right. I owe Lord Harrimont more than that.
The proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight?
I'm fighting as Lord Harrimon's champion.
Well, that's a surprise. Never thought the Grey Wardens would take an interest in our king. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed?
I'm Luthien, of the Grey Wardens.
I'll just call you Grey Warden, since those elven names are such a mouthful.
Right.
We actually have an opening in the first round. Are you ready to start?
I have a few things to do first.
Come back soon. You'll be fighting the bout as soon as both fighters are ready.
Let's go talk to some of the opposition.
Never understood why everyone thinks the Grey Wardens are so great. Prince Balin will be happy to hear I've flattened you into the dirt.
Forget your politics. I won this whole thing myself.
When the sun shines in Orzammar,
You ready to get a suntan?
You must be the Grey Warden. Luke John said one of you signed up.
They said the Warden's here to fight for Harrimont.
I guess we'll have to show what kind of tricks we learn in Orzammar.
I'm not too worried.
You will be.
We promise. We're not giving anything more away.
So don't even try.
You two fight together?
We were born together. We fight together. We'll die together.
The ancestors gave us one soul, but two bodies. Everything we do together.
Everything? You mean even...
That's a little personal, don't you think?
Unless you want to find out.
Nah, that's okay.
I think the Grey Warden's worried.
Don't worry. When we beat you, at least we won't taint you.
Yep, bye.
So you're the Grey Warden Lord Harrimont brought in to replace his missing fighters.
I'm fighting for Harrimont because he's the rightful king.
The Idukins have held the throne for 9 generations. The Assembly should have turned to every last member of our line before handing Orzammar over to some lesser family. Just watch. The ancestors will prove me right in the ring.
Okay, we'll see about that.
Good, you're back. I was about to start looking for you. Are you ready to fight? Remember, once the fight begins, the roster is final. No new additions are accepted, and all withdrawals are marked as losses.
Quit stalling. I'm ready to taste blood.
Go down to the ring, then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. First up is Sewern of the Warrior Caste. Many of you remember when Sewern made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring. Today, he fights as a champion for Prince Balin. Opposing him, in Lord Heramont's name, is a member of the famed Grey Wardens.
In the name of House Idukan and our future King Balin.
I'm tired of talk. Let's get to the hurting.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
This fight is mine!
The winner is the Grey Warden!
Yeah, that was really hard.
That was an exciting start, Warden. Sewern is rarely trounced, and so thoroughly. Are you ready for your next opponent?
Yep.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round, Heramont's champion takes on the notorious duo, the Warrior Caste Twin Terrors, now fighting for Prince Balin, the Aja and Luthien.
May the stone honor you.
When you fall.
Yeah, and may the dirt taste good when I feed it to you.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! Well, that was an exciting bout. 2-on-1, and you took them both easily. Are you ready for your next opponent?
Of course.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Heramont's champion cleared the stone, but can she hold out against the Paragon's own favorites, the Silent Sisters? We'll find out as the Warden faces Lady Hanishan, who proved her worth to Paragon Ashtith the Grey by cutting out her own tongue. And to our Prince Balin by fighting in his name.
Let's get to it, shall we?
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Yes!
The winner is the Grey Warden! Heramont will be pleased, Warden. The Silent Sister support was a great boost for Balin. Are you ready for your next opponent?
You betcha.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round is paired combat. Just as Kiatchet fought as King Bloodlik II, defending our empire, so have dwarves always fought alongside a second. Master of all weapons, prisoner of none, Wojciech Ivo has never won the same way twice. What will he do today, lords and ladies? And will it win the day for Prince Balin? Grey Warden, choose your second, for you face Wojciech Ivo and Valans.
I don't need any help against this clown.
Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight!
Oh, right.
The winner is the Grey Warden! Wojciech Ivo is one of the best this arena has seen, Warden. Harrimont picked wisely. Are you ready for your next opponent?
I could use a rest.
Very well. We'll be waiting.
Options. Difficulty level is at normal. In case anybody was wondering. And let's finish the turn.
Good, you're back. I was about to start looking for you. Are you ready to fight? The crowd is eager to see another victory.
And I'm ready to give it to them.
Go down to the ring then. I'll be right there. This is the glory proving. Fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Only 2 warriors remain. Fighting for his royal cousin Balin, the Jotun Iduken has led his team to triumph over every unit so far. Challenging him on behalf of Lord Harrimont, the Grey Warden has risen from nothing to stand at the competition's summit. Each will lead a full unit of 4 soldiers to see once and for all whom the ancestors favor.
You fight well, but your judgment is questionable. The throne will never leave House Iduken.
I don't need any help against you and your cronies.
Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight!
You got his dagger out. That's so cute. Okay, now this weenie. And now this dork. That was entertaining.
The winner is the Grey Warden! Congratulations! You defeated the man Prince Trian himself once called the Horns of my army. Do you deny this Grey Warden has earned the championship? Then it is my honor to declare this Grey Warden champion of the Proving, who has shown that the ancestors favor Lord Harrimont.
Naturally.
I'd call that arrogant, but your performance justifies it. It was a gift just to watch you fight, Warden.
Yep. Everybody likes watching her fight.
Yes.
They say your mother is Flemeth, a witch of the Kukari Wilds.
They also say that washing your feet in winter makes you catch cold in the head, but we all know that is not true. But sometimes they are right. And they are right in this.
You know the stories about...
Of course. You think my mother would let me go without telling me all the stories of her youth?
My mother told me stories too. She was the one who kindled my love of the old tales and legends.
My mother's stories curdled my blood and haunted my dreams. No little girl wants to hear about the wilder men her mother took to her bed, using them till they were spent, then killing them. No little girl wants to be told that this is also expected of her once she comes of age.
I see.
No, you don't. You really don't.
They're everywhere! What? Get away! You'll change like the rest! Monsters hidden in all my friends!
Are you drunk or just crazy?
They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen, and older than the ones in song. Dormant my ass. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Unbound in quest.
Atrasvala, champion. I hear your performance in the Proving was nothing short of amazing. I must thank you for bringing both Baisel and Widon back into the fight. His lordship was touched to see his old friends stand for him. There can no longer be any doubt where your sympathies lie. If you're ready, Lord Harrowmont will see you now.
Great. Lead the way.
His lordship is looking forward to meeting you.
Bet he is.
And I'm off.
I appreciate what you have done, Warden, and I apologize for putting one of your rank through such trials. I am Lord Pyral Harrowmont, and I thank you for your efforts to help me preserve King Endrin's throne.
So you're going to give me my troops?
It is hard to consider the threat of Darkspawn on the surface when all we see is them retreating from our gates. Ultimately, the Assembly decides what troops to send. If they no longer fear civil war, they'll have no reason to hold back. If you want my support to count, I will have to be king. And right now, there is no sure way to get there. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia and the criminal carter she runs?
I take him out, you get the credit. That's the plan.
I'm glad you're so eager. If you help me shut her down, we can show the Assembly I am the right king to defend Orzammar. Jarvia hides her base in Dust Town, the raw edges of the city where no one lives but castless and criminals. If you would help me in this, it would show the Assembly that I, and not Balin, have the ability to defend and rule this city.
I'll deal with Jarvia. Be ready to help against the Blight.
Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops. Look for Jarvia in Dust Town. Do whatever it takes to see that justice is served.
News of the hour. Lord Harrowmont, unable to win own battle, turns to Grey Wardens in desperation. Harrowmont has suckered the...
Was there any doubt?
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
A thief?
Very well.
Orzammar questions Lord Harrowmont's ability to win the throne without
You've seen and touched Andraste's ashes. They are the holiest thing on this earth, the remains of the Maker's chosen.
Yes, it's quite remarkable.
I do not know if I am worthy to look upon her.
She fought for everyone. She belongs to us all.
Yes, of course, but it still is something to be in awe of. Well, aren't you sweet and attentive?
Oh, go on. You are both making me ill.
Lord Balin swears revenge on Grey Wardens. He is like a mad serpent.
Oh, right.
What was that soup you made for supper last night?
Oh, that's a traditional Ferelden lamb and pea stew. Do you like it?
Oh, so it was lamb then. It had a certain texture I don't normally associate with lamb.
They didn't make lamb and peas stew for you in Lothering?
We ate simply there. Whole grains made into biscuits or bread, and vegetables from the garden, cooked lightly. No heavy stews.
Ah, so the last lamb you had was probably cooked Orlesian style. Food shouldn't be frilly and pretentious like that. Now, here in Ferelden, we do things right. We take our ingredients, throw them in the largest pot we can find, and cook them for as long as possible until everything is a uniform grey color. As soon as it looks completely bland and unappetizing, that's when I know it's done.
You're having me on.
Ha! You need to eat in more Ferelden inns.
And I'm off.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
You thought I was callow?
You sound surprised. You must have heard this before. You'll get over it. Eventually.
Why would I sound surprised if I've already heard it? Why did you come to Ferelden?
I was sent to be the eyes of the Antom. The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
When are you gonna do that?
Never. I cannot go home.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
What were you doing in that cage?
Does it matter? Very well. I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
Exactly what happened?
I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the Darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
That sounds like what happened to me at Ostagar.
I heard the stories of Ostagar. Your kith stood their ground when others fled. No one can do more than that. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers. And my sword was gone from my hand.
What did you do?
I searched for it. And when that failed, I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did the farmers know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
Did you believe them?
I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
That's terrible.
I know I cannot justify what I have done. My honor is forfeit. That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Callanhad.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
So how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
Ha ha. Very funny.
I do my best. What can I say? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
Oh? What skills might those be?
Well, it wasn't an easy life, you know. I don't know whether or not you've noticed, but I'm not exactly the Chantry type. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
Don't start crying again. Creator's breath.
Yes, you're right. I should be angry for what happened to him, not sad. I shouldn't forget what Loghain did. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Here I am.
Here to answer some questions.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Tell me a little about Antiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
Don't you want to go back?
It's not really a matter of wanting to go back. I cannot go. At least not yet. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
My people have no cities.
Ah, yes, of course. The wandering life of the Dalish. That truly is better. I'm jealous.
Sure you are.
You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
This I have to hear.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home, more than anything else.
Really? You smell a cesspool and think of home?
It reminds me of all the idle pleasures I got up to in that little apartment. But yes, it's true. There is no accounting for love. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. Ah, but I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
Now you're flattering me.
I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not?
Oh no, by all means.
And glad I am to hear it. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
Bad. Not bad at all.
We have nothing you'd want. Please go.
And I'm off.
That smell. This is uneven leather, isn't it? I would know that anywhere. I don't know how you found it, but thank you. Now, if only you could find me a prostitute or two, a bowl of fish chowder, and a corrupt politician, I'd really feel like I was home. And they fit as well. Marvelous. I've a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I swore an oath to serve you, yes? And I understand the quest you're on, and this is all very fine and well. My question pertains to what you intend to do with me once this business is over with, as a point of curiosity.
You could go if you wanted.
Could I? And what if I didn't wish to leave?
I could always use a friend.
Indeed. I might even be glad to call myself such, come to think of it. It is good to know what my options might be, but that is for another time. For now, we have much to do, yes?
What do you need?
Do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
Good. I don't want you falling apart again.
Don't worry. So long as we're looking at taking down that bastard Luthien, I won't be losing any sleep at night. And thanks for the warm concern. For a moment there, I thought you might actually have cared.
Oh, jeez. Chill pill, Alistair.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
You said this Earl Eamon raised you.
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
That would explain the breath as well, then.
And my table manners, too. Though, come to think of it, they weren't all that different from the other Templars. Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams?
Yes, they all involve strangling you.
You would do violence upon me? I am shocked and dismayed. The dogs would never threaten me like this, you know. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Earl Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Why did he send you off to the Chantry?
Earl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
You're probably luckier than most orphans, though, weren't you?
I suppose you're right. I wasn't raised as the Arl's son, though, if you're picturing that. I slept in hay out in the stable on silk sheets. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do.
The Isle came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
You were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
You called.
So now will you tell me why you were caged?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
Exactly what happened.
I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the Darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
That sounds like what happened to me at Ostagar.
I heard the stories of Ostagar. Your kith stood their ground when others fled. No one can do more than that. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead. Nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke, I was no longer among my brothers. And my sword was gone from my hand.
What did you do?
I searched for it. And when that failed, I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did the farmers know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
Did you believe them?
I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
It's only an object, Sten. You can get another sword.
Do your people have no souls as we know them? Convenient for you. That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Calenhad.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
Well, aren't you sweet and attentive?
We need to talk.
Of course.
Do you miss anything about Orlais?
I miss Val Royeaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
I've never been to Orlais.
If you get the chance, you should see it, at least Val Royeaux. Of course there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
Do you not have fine things now?
I left behind much, leaving Orlais. But there is more to life than dresses and furs. It is sad that many have lost sight of this. Orlais is very fashionable. Almost ridiculously so. The shoes. Living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
What's so special about shoes?
Well, they're shoes. They're pretty. Some of them anyway. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
Wouldn't that be hard to walk in?
I wouldn't want to run in it, or have to enter battle, but for lounging in a lady's sitting room, perfect. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
They're comfortable.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we? Well, aren't you sweet and attentive?
Well, it's back to Orzammar. But for now, this is Moonstalker at that place for walkthroughs with Luthien of Dragon Age Origins. Catch you on the flip side.